Okay, in this video, we will discuss about arithmetic progression. Some of the basic concepts of arithmetic progression, like what is an arithmetic progression, what is the end term of a progression, like that. Let's move on to the PPT. So, before discussing about arithmetic progression, let me know what is a sequence or a series and a progression. So, first is understanding sequences, series, and progression. So, what is a sequence? A sequence is nothing but it's a finite or infinite list of numbers following a specific pattern. So it's nothing but it's a group of numbers. Generally, we represent a sequence like this. That is, a series of numbers will be there and they are separated by commas. So a sequence can be finite or infinite, which means it may have a fixed number of terms or it may have infinite number of terms. When a sequence contains a finite or fixed number of terms, we call it as a finite series. Sorry, finite sequence. Or when the list of numbers is infinite, as you can see in this case, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. This etc. or dot 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 symbol, which represents that the sequence is infinite, or it's going like that. 5 after 5 it will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is infinite. It doesn't have any ending. On the other hand, if instead of 1 2 3 4 5, or there is no comma after this 5, which means that sequence is fixed, or it is finite. It contains a finite number of elements. So that is sequence. Sequence means nothing. It is a list of numbers and they are following a specific pattern. There is a specific pattern, or you can find the next numbers easily because they always follow a specific pattern. So that is sequence. Next, we'll see what is a series. So you can see here, a series is a sum of elements in the corresponding sequence. So here in this sequence, we said, what is a sequence? Sequence means it is nothing but it's a list of numbers or group of numbers which are separated by commas. So instead of these commas, if we replace these commas in the sequence by addition or plus sign, then it becomes a series. So series means nothing. It is addition of sequence or sum of sequence. This sequence or list of numbers which when expressed as sum of each element or sum of the elements, then they represents a series. So this sequence 1 2 3 4 5 can be expressed as a series by replacing this comma by addition sign. So 1 2 3 4 5, this sequence becomes series when it becomes 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus etc. So then it becomes a series. So they represents a series. The series means again it is a group of numbers which are separated by addition signs or which are added together. Okay, again series can be finite or infinite depending upon the number of elements. If the number of elements are fixed or number of terms are fixed, then it represents a finite series. On the other hand, if the number of elements are infinite or not ending, then it represents an infinite series. So now let's see what is a progression. So we already discussed what is sequence, series, and next is progression. A progression means nothing but it is a sequence in which general term can be expressed using a mathematical formula. So in this case, we notice that there are a number of terms: first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. There may be 100 term, 200 term, 1000 term. So there is a number of terms will be there. So if each of these terms can be expressed by means of a mathematical expression or mathematical equation, then we call the sequence as a progression. So when we can call a sequence a progression, if the end term or general term of a sequence can be expressed by means of a mathematical formula or expression or equation, then the sequence becomes a progression. So now I think you are clear about what are sequences, series, and progression. So now let's move on to arithmetic progression. So arithmetic progression is a progression. So it's a progression, which means each term of the sequence can be expressed by means of a mathematical expression. AP is a progression. Progression means it can be expressed, or each term can be expressed as a mathematical equation, okay, in which the difference between two consecutive terms is a constant. So that's the main point you have to notice while dealing with arithmetic progression. For an arithmetic progression, the difference between two consecutive terms is a constant. That means, let's see an example. 2, 5, 8, 11, 14. So it's a group of number. They are following a pattern. So it's a sequence. And each of the term or each term can be expressed by means of a mathematical expression. So it is a progression. So this progression became an arithmetic progression when the difference between consecutive terms. So this is the first term, 2 is the first term, 5 is the second term. So second term minus first term, 5 minus 2, it is 3. Or consecutive terms, 8 and 5 are two consecutive terms. So 8 minus 5, again 3. 11 minus 8, again 3. 14 minus 11, again 3. So the difference between any two consecutive term is 3, or it's a constant. So it is an arithmetic progression. So a progression becomes an arithmetic progression when the difference between any two consecutive numbers or terms, the difference between any two consecutive terms becomes constant, then we call it as an arithmetic progression. And that constant difference and the difference between and the constant difference here, you can see that 5 minus 2 is 3, 8 minus 5 again 3, 11 minus 8 it is 3, 14 minus 11 again 3. So the difference between any two consecutive term here is 3. So this 3 is known as common difference of the arithmetic progression. The difference between any two consecutive elements, we call them common difference of the arithmetic progression, and generally we represent this common difference by small letter d. So small letter d represents common difference of the arithmetic progression, and similarly the terms of the arithmetic progression we represent by small letter a. Okay, like first term will be a0, then a1, a2, a3, etc. Generally we represent the terms of an arithmetic progression by this letter small a, and it will be suffixed by the term. That is, like for first term it is a0, second term a1, a2, a3, a4, etc. So that is the manner we generally use to represent an AP. And D is the common difference, that is difference between any two consecutive